Hi, I'm Hetty Bryant and I'm your subject convener for this session for MGT559 Leadership and Contemporary Issues. So welcome to the subject and signing up for a summer session. First of all, I'll give you a little bit about me and my approach. So my background really is it's in a number of different areas, but it all rolls up to actually being a facilitator, and I take my role of facilitating learning very seriously. I really like to come from a position of not being the content expert, not holding the power in the dynamic, actually sharing practice with all of you so that we can create a community of practice and a community of learning together. So I wish to facilitate that learning journey for you over this summer session. So that's basically my approach, and I hope that I'm quite approachable as well. The subject is really oriented towards you looking at some of the challenges facing contemporary leadership in the year 2019, and more things are evolving. And so some of those contemporary challenges are around about power and leadership, good versus bad leadership, diversity, honouring difference and being able to lead difference, facilitating change and leading change, leading culture, leading cultural change, and also looking at some of the different approaches to leadership that conflict as well. And some have strengths, some have weaknesses, looking at, how those approaches can be appropriate in some settings and not so in others. Underpinning all this is you're actually looking to study current affairs or current media. So you'll be able to mine quite deeply the media that's about in this day and age, particularly when it comes to looking at leadership. And on the subject side, I've actually put some links to some really good media. I prefer you to look at media that is valid, that it's verifiable, and so those links to those sources are really important, rather than looking at news that's very sensational and isn't valid and hasn't been verified. And there's a lot of that out there. And if you're worried about any of that as well, always you can contact me to see whether that media is something that you should be looking at. But we actually have to respond to these contemporary challenges in different ways. We can't use the old traditional singular and what we call heroic approaches. So we're using Simon Weston's text, Leadership, a Critical Text, the 2019 edition, which has been refreshed. For some of you, you may not have time to get that in time, so there is electronic copy in the library of the 2013 edition. There is more stuff in the 2019, however, the 2013 has a lot of, it's very similar. Okay, so he's just built on that and made it a bit more up to date. So he really looks at a more critical approach to leadership and a more of a post-heroic approach where leadership is distributed. He calls this eco-leadership. Okay, it's very relational, very networked, and has a very connected and ethical, systematic it's all very that's underlying it. So very much an ethical orientation, and an orientation to also bring in nature and how important us being in nature and being connected with others and with nature is. So I think you'll really enjoy working through Simon Weston's approach and finding out about how leadership has evolved the history of leadership and where we are now and where we're hoping to be as well. The the session starts on the 18th of November and we'll finish in the early February, sorry. And so I look forward from the 18th of November having interactions with you. My contact details are in the subject outline. You're most welcome to email me first if you want to have a chat, set up a time so we can have a chat. My consultation hours are there as well. I do work part-time, so it's a really good idea if you can email me first. And I'm looking forward to very much getting to know you all and working with you over this journey. And I'll talk more about other things in the subject as we move through. Okay? So wish you well. Look forward to seeing you all engaging, particularly that first week of session. Cheers.